Hi guys, it's Janae and welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing something a little bit different. I genuinely debated on whether or not this would be something that you guys would be interested in. But we're gonna do it and you guys can leave your feedback and then we'll go from there. Anyway, before we do jump into it however and I explain to you what exactly this video is, I do want to say a quick and as a thank you to ALLISON JORDON, Stephanie MAYRHOFER GEMSTONETHECAT, RONALYN, SANTOS, AAKRE, CORA, and all my other amazing patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. So yeah, today I'm going to be talking to you guys about some recent BL manhwa and novels that I read and that I really enjoyed. So I don't know why I decided to do this, but I just kind of I was sitting here enjoying them and I'm like, I really want to share this with someone. I do have this channel, so we're just gonna hope you guys don't hate me for it. Bearing in mind, a lot of these are from a recent kick that I had after watching Love Scenery. I was kind of into the idea of esports, so esports based things are definitely going to feature quite heavily in this, but that's not all. So yeah, the two that's kind of honorable mentions, but that I'm kind of assuming most of you have read if you follow my Dao Zu Shi and Heaven Official's Blessing things, but I do need to mention them because they're gorgeous, is the Dao Zu Shi and Heaven Official's Blessing manhwas. They are genuinely fantastic. Just look at the art in both of these. The humor is obviously peak as it is in every adaptation, and I also like the fact that we get to see them have slightly more silly expressions. I mean, true, it is kind of also relevant in the Heaven Official's Blessing Donghua adaptation, but you don't really get to see that as much in the Dao Zu Shi Donghua adaptation. So it's kind of interesting. It's always interesting to see where the limits are for the manhwas versus the donghuas. So yeah, there is some things that we see in the manhwa that we I would probably kill over and die if we were to actually get it in the donghua, because I don't think censorship would allow it. So yeah, both of these are still in progress. I can't quite figure out what their updating schedule is, but if anyone knows, or if I do end up figuring it out, I will leave the details for it in the description below. And I'll also try and link all of them if I can, if you guys are interested in checking any of it out. Okay, then the next one that is amazing and that I can't believe I don't see more people talk about, but then again I don't see a lot of people talking about manhwas, is To Be or Not To Be. I have no idea what the Chinese title for it is. I will put it here if I can find it. But guys, it's so good. It's so good. If you guys enjoy the humor and the art style of the Dao Zu Shi manhwa, and you enjoy kind of the same sort of principle as Scumbag Villain Self-Saving System, I think you will definitely enjoy this one. So basically the main lead dies. That's not a big spoiler. It's like saying Wei Ying dies in Dao Zu Shi. You find it out in the first chapter. He dies at a relatively young age because of cancer, and then he gets transported into the world of one of the novels that he read before he died. And he obviously at the beginning is convinced that this is the way the story is supposed to go. This guy is supposed to have this many harem members and everything like that, you know, the typical things. And obviously it all goes wrong because he kind of ends up becoming the love interest, you know, the way that it always works. But honestly, it just flows so naturally. I really enjoy the way the story is told, and the fact that even though he thinks he knows what's coming, not everything is as set in stone as he expects it to be. Even when he sometimes fills in the roles of certain characters, it still doesn't go the way that it should have gone in the novel. So I just like the fact that it's very unpredictable, but at the same time so sweet. Honestly, it really has the same vibe as Mo Shang Tongshu's novels, So I think that's why I fell in love with it so easily. So I really hope you guys will check that one out if it sounds interesting at all to you. There is also a novel of it, so it is originally a novel and then it's now being adapted into a manhwa. And it is still ongoing, but they seem to be updating every single Friday, so it has quite a consistent upload schedule. Sometimes obviously it will slip up, but for the most part it's been quite consistent, and I've been reading this for quite a few months now. It's just so good. Anyway, okay, then the next one that I want to mention, there is a manhwa for this, but I've only seen 6 chapters of the manhwa translated. Like, I would just like to show it to you guys because I think it's adorable, and like just go read that just for the sake of the cuteness that is the way that they drew the manhwa. But yeah, the novel itself is finished, and that novel's name is Your Memes Are Better Looking Than You. I looked at the title and I was like, what on earth? And honestly, as humorous as that title is, the writing, like that humorous tone, carries throughout the entire novel. I just found it to be very enjoyable. It's like very light and wholesome, and I do think that the author did an amazing job of capturing internet culture and the way that teens and young adults interact with the internet. It just felt very real. It really felt like these were 2 celebrities that had issues going on. By the way, let me just quickly give you guys a rundown of the plot. I'm like going off here, sorry, I really enjoyed it. But basically there is a esports star and a celebrity of a pop group, and because of certain events pertaining kind of to an arranged marriage, they meet, but there is a lot of confusion in the initial thing because the one knows that he is the fiance and the other one doesn't originally realize that he's talking to his fiance. So it's very interesting the way they like meet, and I think that it flows very naturally, and it's honestly so hilarious because there's a lot of miscommunication that results in very interesting situations. Yeah, as I said, I think it's very wholesome, it's very interesting, and it just kept me reading. I don't know, it read very easily, and I kind of felt like I was just experiencing life through their eyes. It didn't feel like it pulled me out of the story at any points. I honestly think it did a fantastic job. And then on that same trend, by the same author, as kind of a spin-off of this story, is Your Scandals Are Way Cuter Than You Are. That follows the brother of one of the main characters from Your Memes Are Better Looking Than You and his love interest. And it's just also very interesting because the brother has a very interesting personality, and I think that to me was also one of the selling points, is the fact that the character personalities are so distinct, and that makes it feel a lot more real. I honestly think that this author did an amazing job, and I appreciate the fact that the characters are like kind of cliche, but then they're so strange at certain points that they can't be cliche. So it was just overall very enjoyable. Both books would highly recommend. Then obviously another honorable mention, if any of you caught my first live, that was a total fail, but that people were still kind enough to enjoy. I am also reading Faraway Wanderer, which is the novel that Word of Honor was adapted from, so that has also been very interesting. And if you guys enjoy the esports BL angle, another one that I'm still currently reading but that I've really been enjoying so far is Glory. I don't know if there's more to that name. That is the name that's on Novel Update. That is the name that I am familiar with. But basically about 2 esports players, and they kind of end up in the same team because one of the guys orchestrated it, and the other guy is like super motivated to prove himself to the guy that orchestrated them ending up in the same team. So it's just, I don't know, the dynamics is very interesting, and honestly, Wei Xiao seriously makes me think of Wei Ying. Like, he has the same kind of gremlin energy that Wei Ying has, which just made me love him all the more. And if I may be so bold, I would almost say that Glory feels like a modern day version of Wei Ying and Lanjan, because the two main characters have quite similar personalities to the two of them. So yeah, it was just very interesting to read. I'm still really enjoying it, and I'm excited to see where all of it goes. But yeah, I think that is my wrap up for the BLs that I read recently, both manhwa and novel. And I just kind of wanted to share it with you guys. If you guys have any recommendations or things that you think other people should know about, let me know. I'm always keen to check more out. But yeah, so far I've just mostly been enjoying the modern, and then obviously the few that I mentioned at the beginning that are indeed all historical fantasy. So anyway, I hope you guys somewhat enjoyed this video, even if it is something quite different from what I usually do. But I just kind of wanted to share what I'm really enjoying at the moment. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and otherwise I'll see you guys again next time. 再见。